All right. Good day so far. Story time again, I guess. So this presentation was originally made for one of my English lessons. Then I thought this might be interesting for others to hear as well. Um, I call this "Why is there always war?" So that's the name of this presentation. Now, this has been in my mind since I can remember myself. I was always wondering, why would somebody go thousands of kilometers away to a different country to fight for oil or gas or some resources to get better gas prices back at home? So it didn't really make sense. So that was me, 8, 9, 10-year old, thinking about why is there war? But then after reading a lot of books, let's see some of them here, and watching a handful of documentaries about the subject, came to the conclusion that quite different. Now, I have to warn you that once you understand this, there's no going back. And there's a saying, ignorance is bliss. And it's for a good reason. Um, After learning all of this, I feel that it might have been better if I hadn't read and researched all of this in the first place. Though, let's jump in. I'm not going to go over everything that you see on the screen uh, right now, but it's somehow connected, let's say that. And yeah, hope you like it. And yes, hope you can get something out of it. Now, science usually doesn't look at conspiracy theories, and conspiracy theorists don't really look at science. But being both open minded and rigorous is difficult, but ultimately unifying and productive, which is my goal here today, just to explore what is theory, what is fact, what conspiracies have been proven and become fact, and which ones are still theory. Now, I will give you a unique theory. Maybe it's not 100% unique, but at least it has my own understanding and twist on it. And when dealing with these subjects, I believe that many of us are dealing with cognitive dissonance, which is the mental discomfort experienced when holding two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or attitudes, often leading to irrational behavior to reduce the tension. Proposed by Leon Festinger, this psychological theory explains that people tend to justify, ignore, or change their beliefs to align with actions. In short, or maybe an easier way to look at it, is that when a person feels threatened, at least intellectually, they don't want to change their beliefs and they will come up with all kinds of stories to convince themselves that it's okay not to change their attitude or belief about a certain thing. Like sometimes you put animals or dead animals in the ground, but sometimes it's okay to put them in you. So you sort of love animals, but then again, some of them taste really good, and then it's okay to kill them. So you have to sort of convince yourself that it's all okay, and it's sometimes it's okay. If it's a dog, it's not okay. And then, yeah, it's basically a form of cognitive dissonance. But today, that's not the topic. I won't tell you just a couple of conspiracy theories that became fact later on. One of them actually before we go to Operation Paperclip is Johnson and Johnson and how they it took them 50 or so years to get the baby powder products off the shelves because there was asbestos in it, and then they were testing it and then trying to do research of how much asbestos could be in there. But then, in first place, why is there asbestos in baby powder, which is cancerous? So it takes a lot of time and a lot of bureaucracy. I'm not even sure what it is to get to some action, and sometimes takes too long for theories to become facts and actionable steps that we can take. Anyways, the mainstream narrative after World War II was that the US thoroughly denazified Germany and rejected any association with former Nazi scientists. Later, it was revealed that they recruited over 1,600 Nazi scientists, engineers, and technicians to work on American military space programs, whitewashing their records and ignoring their involvement in the forced labor and atrocities to gain technological advantages in the Cold War. So at first it was just a theory. You're crazy, you're nuts. Turned out differently. MK Ultra program, initially dismissed as paranoid fiction about government mind control. The CIA's MK Ultra was exposed in 1975 by the Church Committee investigations, confirmed that from the 1950s to 70s, agency conducted illegal experiments on unwitting US and Canadian citizens using LSD, hypnosis, and torture to develop brainwashing techniques. COINTELPRO also talks about the FBI spying and sabotaging civil rights leaders, which was later revealed that they were doing it. And many of these theories you can find by asking any artificial intelligence to tell you about conspiracy theories that later on became facts. These days, and events that are happening now might become conspiracy facts 30, 40, 50, or 60 years from now. Now, let me give you my theory. Again, it's just a theory. Don't take it too seriously or too personally if you don't like it. And yeah, just let me know what you think. So, first of all, I think the Bible has been deliberately taken out of the school system. It's one of the oldest texts, though we learn about how long rivers are or what kinds of different snail types there are. We learn about history about a very bad guy that was from Austria and he wanted to teach somebody how to concentrate. Um, yes, all kinds of different things, but we never take the Bible and we never open it, we never read from it, we don't try to learn anything from it. It's just something that you could do if you're in a religious school or on Sundays, maybe. Um, yes, and I believe it's because that there are certain clues or hints of what would be necessary or important to know as you're navigating through the maze of life. For example, this deity or fertility god is called Baal, or also he has some different names, sometimes called Moloch and something else as well. But he was worshipped in horrible ways. He demands child sacrifice and bloodshed, and Israel was seduced into worshipping him. Again, you can ask artificial intelligence to tell you where specifically in Bible to find these deities. But what is interesting here is that Netanyahu says that Iran burning Baal statue is symbol or is symbolizing declaration of war against Israel. I thought that's long gone. It's something that the Bible talked about. Why would Israel be interested in Baal again? And another thing that he said is that we are going to fulfill our promise that there will be no Palestinian state. Now, if you look at old maps, there's only Palestine there. There's no Israel mentioned. So, when did he make this promise and who did he make this promise to? Interesting. This leads me to this second part, which is about how we make decisions on who to trust, what is real, what is not, who's an expert, who can say how things are not. Then you probably heard this adverb, jack of all trades, master of none, meaning that if you try different things or learn how to do different things, you might be good at them, but you are not a master, so you're not an expert. So probably, maybe you're not the one who should be trusted in these matters. So there's a full version of this quote or adverb. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. This completely changes the idea of this adverb, meaning that I don't have to be a pastor or a preacher to read the Bible and take out some of the wisdom that's in there. I don't have to be a doctor to read what other doctors have discovered while in their practice with patients. So, who we trust is not oftentimes based on sound mind, let's say that, but it's based on what others believe to be true or to be correct. And somehow, most of us, unfortunately, are behaving like a herd or a group mind or group think that if everybody's going this direction, it would be weird for me to stand out and do something in a different manner, which is this next part where I believe that we have been conditioned into acting a certain way because we have been programmed year after year to follow rules, to follow authority. And when the authority says something, you behave, you kneel, you bow, you stand, you eat, you sit, you sleep, you work. Now, if somebody feeds you something for 12 years, day after day, what happens after you're not being fed? What do you choose? What you already know, what you have done for 12 years, or you finally try something new? I guess it depends on the person, right? I really liked what Leonardo da Vinci said. Truly, man is the king of beasts, for his brutality exceeds them. We live by the death of others. We are burial places, meaning that sometimes when somebody dies, we put him in a graveyard. But sometimes, I guess, it's okay to put him inside of us. He said, my body will not be a tomb for other creatures. Here, I believe that we have been tricked into accepting that it's okay to become burial place, a graveyard ourselves. And therefore are participating in a blood sacrifice or ritual, not even understanding or knowing that it's happening. And cannibalism, I believe, can be extended not only to our own species, but everything that is warm blooded. So everything that is very similar to you, it has two eyes, a brain, a heart, it has a warm blood like yourself, is something that is pretty much the same species. Now, why am I getting at this? Now, there's a spiritual world or a mental world that is impacting what we do. There's also very physical and very tangible forces. And I would like to explain to you what parabiotic experiments are and that something that happened thousands of years ago have now changed the names but are still the same practices. In heterochronic parabiosis experiments, where young and old mice share blood circulation, the young mouse ages faster. Its blood vessels weaken, brain cell growth slows, and thinking ability drops due to harmful aging factors from the old mouse's blood. The old mouse gets partially rejuvenated. Its blood vessels improve, brain barrier strengthens, new brain cells increase, and cognition sharpens, thanks to beneficial youthful factors from the young mouse's blood. In Silicon Valley, this is called plasma body, where older gentlemen who are wealthy, rich, can find a younger plasma body who is willing to give him some of his blood so that also this older person can get some of that benefit, stronger brain, sharper cognition, and so on. For right now, we have 3,000 billionaires. All of them, or most of them, are pretty old. Now, if they have a chance or a possibility to get some rejuvenation, to feel better, and possibly to live longer, how many of them do you think would not use it? I believe none of them want to die. They have amassed all of this wealth. Why would they want to go away and leave it to their relatives? Or maybe they don't have any relatives. So here's the part where physical means the spiritual. Because if you don't have any morals or compassion or humanity, and you view everything around us in physical terms, You don't need afterlife, God, heaven. You want to dominate the physical realm. So all you have is right here and right now. Now, if you're a billionaire, 90 years old, and you have an option to die tomorrow or live for another month, but the option costs 50 million, let's say. Are you willing to die with just 950 million instead of a billion? How many of them do you think would choose compassion when they can buy something that costs just a tiny fraction of their fortune? Now, war is needed so that there's displacement. Kids go missing, women get imprisoned, and unfortunately, it's become like factory farming for them. So the fight has always been between good and evil, and nothing since the beginning of time has changed. Again, this is just a theory, and I hope that this theory is proven wrong. Peace from west to east.